Good morning, party people, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on wherever you are in this beautiful world that we all live in. Happy April 1st. Happy Mercury Retrograde, and welcome to the Claim Your Magic podcast with me, Sabrina Scott, where we talk all about how to claim your magic and change your life. And we do that through a variety of tools, modalities, philosophies, areas of thought. I talk a lot about healing, tarot, magic, spirituality, witchcraft. What else? Love, healing. Did I say that already? Clearly, I'm still working on the new jingle. But regardless of all of that, welcome to a brand new month. Quarter one for all my business folks of the year is now done and over. We are now moving into quarter two, April, May, June, and of course we are now into Mercury retrograde proper. So the first thing I want to talk about today is, and I made a reel about this, so anyone on Instagram will probably have already seen this, but maybe you haven't. It's over there, so go take a look. But in the meantime, I did want to just talk about why Mercury retrogrades are actually kind of awesome, and why I feel we should actually collectively just ride the waves rather than fighting the waves. And so in my little reel, I listed out a bunch of ways that we can actually work with this time, and I'll list them out now, but then we'll kind of talk a little bit more in depth about why Mercury retrogrades are awesome. And I know part of this is likely because I'm a Virgo rising, and so for anyone who doesn't know, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Each of the signs has a ruling planet. Sagittarius, my sun sign, of course, as you guys know, ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter, of course, is all about expansion, growing, the bigger picture, and so of course it makes sense. All the things that I tend to talk about are very much in that vein, right? And yet that's interestingly balanced out for me with this very meticulous Mercury for my rising sign. Very interesting. Definitely worth taking a look with your own chart, just seeing how that balance is for you and if your planets are a bit more nitty-gritty or a bit more big and expansive. It shows up for each of us differently. But the Mercury retrograde, to me, it seems like these nice little reminders throughout the year that, hey, you got to slow down. Whether or not you want to, you're going to be forced to. I don't know if anyone has had experiences where you've worked super hard, you've run like 20 deadlines, you've pulled all-nighters, and then as soon as the vacation hits, you get sick for like the entire vacation. And that's because our bodies are just working so hard and we're not taking a break. And so as soon as we're finally able to, our body just completely crashes and we get sick. Like, our body, interestingly, keeps us safe as long as it can. But at some point, the body becomes overwhelmed. And even if it's not a virus or a bacterial infection or anything like that, we just feel burnt out and haggard and just exhausted. And so that is going to happen whenever we are not taking intentional, regular breaks and intentional resting. And so Mercury retrograde, if you're someone who has not taken the intentional rest points, if you're someone who is always on hyperdrive mode, like, that is the type of person where something does tend to happen during Mercury retrograde, where your computer will crash, you'll miss your flight, something will happen, and you'll kind of be forced into this different timeline that you did not, in your perfect, meticulous, exact plan for or anticipate. So it's a bit of a forced reset for anyone who is on this like workaholic mode. And so instead of seeing Mercury retrograde as this thing that we're all just going to dread, and it's like, oh my God, it's going to ruin all my plans, it's going to fry my computer, everything's going to go wrong, etc., I could think we can see it as this time where we can work with the energy and intentionally slow down and intentionally reflect Intentionally do the self-care. Intentionally have a slow morning. Intentionally spend time at home. Intentionally journal a lot. Intentionally read our old diaries and see what we went through in the past that we might have forgotten about, to give some context to what we're going through in the present moment. And so when we ride the wave instead of fighting it, we move a lot further. I don't know if anyone's ever watched like surfer videos or anything. Like, I can't say that's a hobby of mine, but I definitely have seen that footage, people swimming or surfing or just doing water kind of sports. And you notice if people move with the waves, the wave will carry them super far and they'll be able to ride it. And it just is so beautiful to watch that symbiotic relationship, that communication between the wave and the person on the surfboard. Like, it really is this, I'm getting chills talking about this. It really is something beautiful to behold, this relationship between the human, the object, and then the immense life force, the immense energetic force, the immense spirit of the water. And when all these work together in this beautiful, consensual, mutualistic vibration, beautiful things can happen, right? And yet when people fight the waves or try to, something goes wrong, then you're just going to end up underwater, or you're just going to end up, potentially in a dangerous situation. Or at least you're going to end up like nowhere at best. And so I do think that our relationship to Mercury retrograde can be like this beautiful symbiotic relationship between the surfer, the wave, and the board. We just have to know how to ride the waves and sensitize ourselves to, okay, Mercury retrograde's coming. Let's intentionally not overbook ourselves at this time period. Let's intentionally slow down. Let's intentionally, book in some time to reflect, go on some long walks. I find long walks super meditative and contemplative. Some time to write out some goals for the rest of the year, some time to reflect on what the year has brought so far and how we've dealt with it. That's all good stuff to do. And so if we're going to do it at some point during the year anyway, we might as well work with this beautiful Mercury retrograde energy, since it's going to happen at some point. And my cat apparently agrees. Thank you, Awas. You guys think she should have her own podcast? Probably. But if you've been noticing some weirdness up until this moment, Mercury was in its pre-retrograde shadow. And of course, after the retrograde is done, I think April 25th or something like that. Don't quote me though. Mercury, of course, is in its shadow again. So this is quite a lengthy period. Last week, actually, I tried to go live on YouTube, and for some reason, I restarted both laptops, reinstalled everything, and for some reason, I tried it 5 times. The live on YouTube would not work. It just would not work. And I tried everything, and it just would not work. And I was sad for maybe 5 minutes, but after that 5 minutes of sadness and frustration, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just do my tarot for the week ahead over on Instagram instead? I haven't done that in forever, so whatever, let's just go for it. And there's a part of me that is a little bit OCD that just wants everything in one place, and I want all of my week ahead tarot to be on YouTube in the same little category, in the live category, not on the pre-recorded category. And so there are parts of me that are super anal about that kind of thing. But I decided just take a deep breath, let it go. It's Mercury shadow. Tech stuff is going to go weird. You just got to roll with it. And what was super awesome about it is it got more views than any live stream I've done on Instagram in a really long time. And it was really, really nice, actually, to just go with the flow and just roll on over there and do it anyway. It wasn't exactly my plan, but sometimes things don't go according to plan, and we just have to be able to roll with that and just change our perspective and see it as a positive. Like, okay, yes, it's going to be really annoying that my content is going to be kind of half here, half there. It's going to be a bit confusing for people. Oh my God, how frustrating, how annoying. Oh my God. I could have gone into that spiral and stayed there, but instead I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's move past it. It's not the end of the world at the end of the day. And that is one thing I want you guys to take with you as you're moving through this Mercury retrograde period, is that chances are whatever happens, even if it's frustrating, even if it's annoying, even if you shed a few tears, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to be alive. It's going to be fine. And things don't have to be as like anally retentive, exactly organized as people like me might want them to be. It's okay to break outside the mold a little bit and have some things be a little bit messy, a little bit disorganized, and a little bit chaotic. Like, that is totally okay. And sometimes giving yourself permission to walk off the beaten path can actually help us open up some creativity that was a little bit dormant for a while. So I just want to leave that with y'all as we're moving into Mercury retrograde. So I also wanted to plug my membership and community, the Claim Your Magic community and membership. I always switch up which order I say it in. I'm still figuring it out. But we are doing a monthly class every single month. Last month was Spring Equinox Magic. This month it's going to be living with authenticity, and what does it mean to live an authentic life? How can you live an authentic life? I'm sure people will be asking me a little bit about eclipse season this month as well, since we've got the big solar eclipse coming up sometime soon. Interestingly, since I'm in Toronto, apparently I'm in the like zone of totality or whatever. And so it's kind of like more of a big deal than I thought it was going to be. So I might actually participate rather than just stay home and like do some witchcraft at my altar. I think I might actually try to go somewhere and see something. So who knows? We'll see. I'm figuring it out. But I have heard, interestingly, in my community from someone who actually got to experience that totality at one point, that it was super epic and transformative. So I'm still thinking about it. And there's so many great conversations happening in the community. And so if you are feeling a little bit alone in your spiritual practice, if you just want some accountability, if you want to make some connections with people who are on a similar path to you with similar goals, similar values, please do give the community a consideration. It's only $37 a month. And yeah, for that price, you do get the monthly class, which is pretty fucking crazy value, if I do say so myself. Of course, there is a more expensive version, and that version does include an additional session of coaching, group coaching per month. So that might be for you, that might not be. If you've got any questions about that, feel free to ask. But it's been really, really fun to just experiment with the community, get to know everyone, and just engage in these conversations in a place that is off of social media. And so we can have conversations that are a little bit more in depth, which has been really, really fucking fun and just nice to do and nice to see. And what else? So if anyone does remember Magic May from last year, I am going to be doing that again this year, but just in the community, which I am super excited to see that challenge, the daily challenge of Magic May, happen in the Claim Your Magic community space. So for anyone who doesn't remember, or maybe you're new to what I do and my work and all of that, so Magic May was a daily magic challenge where I gave everyone on a group chat a different prompt about magic every single day. And so we generated some really amazing, beautiful conversation between everyone, and it was just a really lovely time. And it was just great hearing so much about everyone's unique practice, and just all of it was really, really a good time. And so I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit more about that as we eventually ease into May. I guess it's a month away now that we're going to start that. So if anyone is curious, you can check out my brand new link in the description of this podcast. So it is going to be claimyourmagicwithsabrina.com/links, and you can see all of the links that you could ever care about there. I'm still transferring my website from my old website to my new website, so there's still some stuff that is not transferred yet, but you will get a lot of links there that will be relevant. You'll get a link to download my top 13 witchy books if that's something you haven't grabbed yet, my top 4 easy breezy tarot spreads guide. You can download that. It's just free. Why not? And then of course a link to check out more about my membership. And I've been quite quiet about this. It's just something I've announced on my email list, but today is the last day to sign up for the relaunch of Tarot Without Bullshit. So if anyone is listening to this on April 1st and you want to jump in to my Tarot Without Bullshit mega course, which is the best tarot course on the internet, if you want more information about that, just send me an email, ceo@sabrinamscott.com, and I will help you. Absolutely no worries. Okay, friends, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope your Mercury Retrograde is off to a great start. I'll see you either on YouTube or Instagram tomorrow for tarot for the week ahead. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.